Indianapolis Center, do you have any test operations restricted area 2508?
Aries 31, roger. Traffic is quite luminous and is exhibiting some non-ballistic motion, over.
Roger, Aries 31. Continue to send at your discretion, over.
Okay, Center. The traffic is approaching head-on, ultra bright, and really moving. They're right by us right now.
There are 1,000 UFO sightings reported around the world every month. 90% of these sightings can be explained, but 10% cannot. Officially and unofficially, the U.S. military has been investigating UFOs since 1947. Their top secret goal is to find out what's behind these unexplained sightings. The Pentagon classifies them as unusual airborne anomalies, but a better term is X-Files. Join us now as Mack, Juan-Juan, and Commander Cobra explore these unsolved cases, UFO incidents that baffle even the U.S. military. This is Mack Maloney's Military X-Files. And now, here's Mack Maloney.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. This is Mack Maloney. Wow, what a show we have for you tonight. But let's get the bad news over first. Okay, girls, get ready. You might want to sit down and start feeding yourself because no Juan-Juan tonight.
How are they going to handle it?
No idea. No idea.
Well, they'll save on wipes tonight, maybe.
Well, that's true. They're running out of them at the stores, I hear. So this might be a good thing. Okay, but here's the double barrel one: Gilfs, Milfs, and Gigi Gilfs. No Coco either. No Coco.
No. We might as well go home.
I was going to say let's just watch a football
flying
game.
blind.
Okay.
You know what? I am home.
Oh, he is all right, Switchy, and so is Raven.
Well, you look like you're in the woods there. I don't know.
Okay. So anyway, that means that it's his night to shine, because it means that our national correspondent moves 2 steps up the totem pole up there in Battle Creek, Michigan, home of Flakes, Switchblade Steve Ward, Switchy.
I wonder if there's something I can do, some kind of subterfuge to make this permanent. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Anyway, I'm just
really?
thinking,
Wow.
out loud.
Right.
That's a little cold.
I'm doing Beyond Wonderful, Mac.
Okay, good to know.
And glad to be here.
Okay, you still get
Fair
the beard?
Fair enough, Switch.
Yeah, beard looks good. Still looking very elitist. Should I say that? Kind of, up there, the academic world.
Listen, I never forget the little people, no matter how little and tiny and insignificant they may be.
Okay, see, he's got a heart of gold, doesn't he? Listen, let's go to as quickly as we can to our security chief. We might need some security tonight. Willie Clark.
I think so, Mac. I'm kind of concerned what I'm hearing already from
bad vibe.
Switch. You know, he seems like he's looking power play here.
Something, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Me, Whitey, I'm with you.
A lot of built-up anchor and Switch lately. You know what I mean? Like
Hey, look, some cats got it and some cats don't.
Wow,
It's just the way the dice rolls.
Know what I mean? Someone needs a
Is
hug.
that new hairpiece bothering you? Or is he getting, something on
No,
it?
actually, I found that double-sided duct tape keeps it right in place.
All right.
To high winds.
See, he's MacGyver as well.
No, I thought you might have a burr underneath that.
Oh, man. Oh, wow. Wait. Okay, look. Why don't we go down south to our southern correspondent, Jocko Johnson. Jojo.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? Jojo. I love the name. Jojo.
Good. That's my little nephew's name.
Is it really? Yeah.
Little guy. He's autistic, and he's a great little guy.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, little Jojo. Cool.
So I'm happy with that.
That was my grandfather's name. He's like 75 years old. People call him Jojo. Anyway.
Hey, got it for the streets, baby.
Hey, he was, yeah.
I hear you. Before you have to say anything.
About years and years, he used to live with us. We were kids, right? And he died probably, I was in the 4th grade. And Jojo Maloney. That's how I got my last name. And years later, my mother said, he always carried a gun with him. I go, what? Yeah, he always was packing a pistol because he was a car salesman during the Depression, and he sold the getaway car to Sacco and Vanzetti, the famous bank robbers. Yeah.
Great.
So he got threats on his life, and he had to testify. So he, got threats on their life. That was a really nutty situation down there in the 30s with these anarchists knocking off banks and so on. And he carried a gun with him from then until apparently the day he died. And we lived in his house. Never in a million years would you have thought that there was a gun in there. You know how you said, Jocko, you put the bullets over here and the gun over there, and Yeah. So anyway, that's JoJo. So that's my grandfather JoJo, your JoJo, and also little JoJo, your grandson, right?
My nephew.
Nephew. Okay. I will say we should send him.
I think I said cousin. That's wrong. My nephew, my brother's son.
How old is he? How old is he?
He is about 8 right now. I believe.
Well, we should send him some swag, man.
All right, fine. I got coasters, but I don't think he needs that.
Yeah, well, you never know. Hang on to him.
I'll tell you this. I lived with my grandpa, and he was a police inspector when he retired. And he always had a gun as well.
Yeah, wow.
And my grandma would kind of take it off him and hold it and just put it in the drawer without even touching it when he came home at night. You know?
Well, my grandfather did a good job of keeping it for us because there was like 4 kids roaming that house continuously searching our parents' places and stuff, looking for stuff.
Well, one day I could tell you the story how when I was in bed and I hear the screen getting cut on my house.
Yes.
Run around the back and we exchanged a little action there in that driveway. Good thing I had my 9mm.
Wow, yeah? Shots fired?
And another, back and forth, And then there was another guy in the driveway who went into the garage and was stealing stuff. And they're walking down the driveway. And it was just after I had my first knee surgery, so I was really kind of hobbling.
Go ahead.
And the guy walks up to me and I pulled my gun on him. I said, all right, freeze, so-and-so, on the ground, let's go. This is just me. I told my wife, make the call while I'm out there.
Yep.
And I can't chase him, you know what I mean?
Right.
So they go down. One goes down. The other guy looks at me and says 2 choice words,
Yeah, yeah.
And I just took my pistol and wrapped him in a puss, man.
Yeah, pistol whip.
Just at that time, just at that moment, the radio car comes screeching in the driveway because, it's a cop needing help. Next thing I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. I'm like, holy cow. Boys, it's under control.
Wow, cool.
The boss gets out. He looks at him. The captain shows up. He says, off duty incident, what happened to him? I said, who's trying to get up those steps? I don't know. He must have slipped or something. That's a wiping of blood off my gun.
Yeah, it's slippery steps.
And he says, okay, we got it. He goes, come back to the station out tomorrow morning, fill out the rest of the paperwork, we'll handle it.
Wow, that's funny. All right, Jocko.
That was Brooklyn. That's why I had to leave.
Yeah, you're like freaking Batman there, dude. Yeah, that's why you had to leave. Okay, so listen.
That'd be a perfect reality show, better than the housewives,
really?
Real Housewives of Sausalito or whatever the heck it is.
Jocko, I'll tell you something better than that. There was a guy next door to us that rented the second floor, and he was a cop when I was a kid.
Okay.
And he hears somebody one night, and he's shooting out the window with his buddies. They're all up there drinking, playing poker. They're shooting out the back window in the garage, in the backyard. They think the guy next door is trying to break into his garage.
Oh, fuck.
Like I'm living in a Wild West here,
Yeah, it's Brooklyn. Okay. Yeah, that would be a good.
It was a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's probably cost about $1 million an apartment there now, the way that they've changed things. But anyway,
that's what the houses are going for.
That's another show. You know what? I need my special effects for because I have to introduce the beauty among the beasts, and we're already many minutes into the show, so we have to apologize. Raven is with us, our favorite good witch up there in Sideways, New York. Raven, how are you?
Hi, my friends. I'm so good. Thanks for having me.
Sorry you had to go through that long, pre-introduction.
I apologize.
That's totally a pilot for a TV show.
It really is, yeah.
You want to write it, Switch?
We'll punch it up a bit.
Mack write it, baby.
We'll have, instead of just wrapping them in the face with your, your pistol, maybe, we'll work it out.
Okay.
Well, what are you suggesting? What do you want to
go through a few drafts?
Want to hit him with his machete or something? Bloody? Is that what you want?
I got that.
Well, everybody gets hit in the face with a gun in these things. It's got to be something.
Oh, that's true.
Cooler.
Well, you have to cool if you're going to.
Not that it's pretty cool, but
if you're going to pistol whip someone,
you got to punch it up.
Jocko's show and tell today.
Jocko's show and tell. There it is. Yeah.
The new Marine Corps fighting knife.
Oh, cool.
Right. Second edition. I got to Camellis, New York.
Wow. Okay.
The old K-bar,
I'll tell you where.
Put a saw on the top, a bowie on the tip. They got a little serrated thing down here.
This is, I think
this is Military X-Files.
I was going to say tonight's show. We're carrying heavy, as they say in The Sopranos, right? It's like we're all loaded up, ready to go.
I don't know anything about it.
All right, here we go. So listen. This is our show tonight. We're going to have a report from Raven about a very, very creepy subject. If you want to get a head start on us, Google. Raven, what's the name of the painting again, please?
The hands resist him.
And there's a weird story. Oh, man. First of all, it's a creepy painting. And the way it came to, be created, also creepy story. Creepy stories following around. But just look at the painting and you go, what's going on here? Anyway. So Google that, and we'll be doing Raven will be doing a report on that in just a little while. Also, we're going to be talking to Jocko Johnson, who is here with his report on weird weather and how weather affects wars in U.S. military history. In a previous show, we talked about how it was a huge evacuation that George Washington had to pull off during the Revolutionary War, or we would have lost the war and we'd all be eating, crumpets and drinking tea now. So what he did was he put his entire arms on. Wow, that would have
been horrible. No cough.
That was 10 seconds of silence there. Thank you. He moved an entire army across, from Brooklyn to Manhattan or vice versa, because this mysterious fog came up. I mean, it was just like this thing that never happened before, hasn't happened since, but it helped him win the Revolutionary War. So we're going to be talking about two more cases like that, weird weather in war in U.S. military history. And then we're going to switch. He's going to do a Tales from the Fringe. And tonight it's about Charles Fort.
Charles Fort, yes.
Yeah. That's the guy that they named, when you see things called Fortunian. Well, how do they say that, Switchy?
Fortiana.
What?
Fortiana.
I was really, really off. Yeah, so those are things that he came out with a bunch of theories and thoughts and stuff like that, and a lot of them line up. We'll be talking about it tonight. But, if you're a believer.
Didn't they name Fort Dix after him?
Fort Dix, hang on. All right, here we go. 1850.
And there are some really, I'm going to get into some of his great quotes. And just one now, just a teaser. He said, "I think we are property." But there are many, many good quotes.
Wow.
If people know what he wrote about, they get an idea of why he was talking about we were property.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's yeah. How long? When did he die? He's dead, right?
The 30s, yeah.
Oh, he died in the 30s.
Yes.
Ufo.
Yes. He. The first book was the Book of the Damned.
Yes.
And that came out about 1915, I think.
Oh wow, that bad.
No, 1919 maybe it was. I'll double check my notes.
Huh?
But that was
not that long ago though.
He had he had been accumulating all kinds of
weird stories.
He became fascinated by oddities and mysteries and started accumulating them. He was living in poverty for a while. But we'll get into it more. We'll get into. He was a kind of a troublemaker as a kid, and but eventually he really, he influenced so many people from John Keel to the Fortean Society. Tiffany Thayer started that. His influence is phenomenal, and he was treated by some a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about Velikovsky too, Immanuel Velikovsky, who wrote Worlds in Collision, who was viciously attacked by the establishment.
Wow. Okay, sounds like fun. We'll put some music behind it, okay? So that dramatic.
Listen, you haven't arrived until you've been attacked by the establishment.
Right, you ain't kidding. All right, good. Switch. We can't wait for that to come up. So why don't we do this? We're going to take a short break now, and we'll come back with our top 10 list. But before we do that, I have two questions for Raven. So, Raven, first of all, we're getting emails and texts. What are you drinking tonight? Please tell everyone.
I have raspberry jammin' from Beer Tree.
Okay.
It's a crowler, so it's a big boy.
Big boy.
And it's 5.2%,
wow.
And it's a pretty little red color.
Oh wow!
Raspberries.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, that's great. Yeah, it is that's a big can. That looks like a can you'd get oil in for your car or something, right?
Yeah.
Or a big energy drink. Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the old Foster's Lager. He's calling.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. Too bad you couldn't drink that stuff. It was terrible. But
when you were a kid, you didn't care.
Here's the. Hey, Jocko, I was a discerning kid. What do you mean? We used to.
I thought when you were like 14, who cared?
14. I'm talking about 7 or 8. No, 7 or 8. We were turning down like Black Label. We'd steal my uncle's.
I was only talking about this one particular beer.
Okay. So anyway, Raven, question number 2. This came from a fan who doesn't want to be identified. But he said, ask Raven why at a family get-together that involved little kids, you chose to show the movie Eraserhead.
Okay. So they weren't super little, though. One of them is only like 2 months old.
Okay.
So, or 3
Should we
months
explain
old.
what
She's not gonna
Eraserhead
remember.
is for those that may not know?
We should then,
We probably should, yeah. It's a great movie.
Okay, all right. There's one
By-
explanation. There's one
Who
side.
directed
David
it?
Lynch.
Yeah.
And it's creepy.
Blue
It's
Velvet?
it's creepy. Like all the stuff he does, it's just so creepy and effed up. You know.
I love it. I love it.
No, I've only seen parts.
But I don't even know how we got on the subject of it. We just all started talking about it. And I really wanted to watch White Christmas and everyone threw a fit. So I said, then I'm going to put on Eraserhead. So that's what I did.
Oh,
and
wow.
nobody complained
Your house, right?
except for my niece.
Yikes. Okay. All right. You know, the kid might, grow up and appreciate stuff like that. Or there's years of therapy to look ahead to. So anyway, why don't we do this? Why don't we take that commercial break now? And you'll be right back after this. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to Mack Maloney's Military Lifestyle Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. We'll be right back.
Imagine you knew what was going to happen 2 seconds before it happened. Imagine you lived with the world's most beautiful supermodel. Imagine you drove a Jaguar with machine guns behind the headlights. Well, it's time to stop dreaming and start reading about Navy Lieutenant Chris Starr, hero of Mack Maloney's new best-selling paranormal detective series, codenamed Starman. Who murdered the most beautiful T-girl in San Diego? Who's bombarding a small Massachusetts town with heavy artillery on Christmas Eve? Who's causing the mass murder of terrorists in the jungles of Africa? These are the cases Lieutenant Chris Starr must solve in the Kalashnikov Kiss, the first book in Mack's exciting new series, codenamed Starman. Follow the Starman as he uses his psychic abilities to crack cases the U.S. Navy has declared too unusual. Find out why the Pentagon calls him the X-Files guy. And what is the wormhole anyway? To find out, get your own tomato can and be ready for action, strange adventures, paranormal activity, and lots of cover models in Codename Starman, The Kalashnikov Kiss by Mack Maloney. On sale now at Amazon and your local bookstore.
Welcome back, everyone, to Mack Maloney's Military Lifestyle Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. This is Mack Maloney. What a show we have for you tonight. This is really getting the Beatles back together because no JJ, no CC. That means the next in the pecking order is Switchblade Steve Ward, Switchy.
Great to be here tonight.
Okay. Do you feel like you're on top a little bit more than usual?
Can you explain what you mean, Matt?
I'm going to reword that. Okay. You're next in command, man. You're like the vice president.
Yeah.
Okay.
So does that mean if you get absconded or abducted by wild Amazons, I fill in your place?
Yes, it does. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Are there any wild Amazons out your way?
That's the problem. You know, if we can fill in that blank, we got something going. Okay, so listen. Switchy's here, and also our security chief, Willie Clubb, is here, a.k.a. Whitey Belger.
Hi, Mac. Hi, folks. How you doing?
So far, so good?
Good. I'm doing great tonight. I can feel
Really?
another big night.
Oh, that's good. Okay, that's good. Is it because there's no Coco and no JJ?
No, it's because of our partner there with the hairpiece, second in command now.
Oh, yeah. I know it. Okay.
He feels more secure now.
Yeah. Okay.
I do.
Wow.
I do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mothman's on our side.
Oh, listen. All I can say is meow. Jocko Johnson, our Southern correspondent down there. Jocko.
Yeah, I'm down here. I'm here.
Man, he's
Getting
well
cold
dressed.
Down there. It's like in the 40s. I don't like it.
You're well in the 40s, like 40 below here. Listen, you're well dressed. It looks like you're dressed in like almost like a crew member's suit or something. What are you wearing there?
My Rangers coach's outfit here.
Oh, okay. The Rangers.
My bench
Are they
out.
still
New York
are they
Hockey
still
Rangers.
playing hockey? The
Yeah,
Rangers?
they.
Hey, listen, the Rangers are number one in the NHL right now.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, for a
No,
day.
that's fake news.
It's been for about a week or so.
For a day.
couple of weeks going back and forth. They're playing
Really?
great.
Hey, listen, I couldn't. If the Rangers suddenly became good again, I'd be the happiest guy in the world because there were times we don't want to go down this road. But man, back in the Bobby Wood days and everything, when they played the Rangers, oh my goodness.
Derek Sanderson, the rubber chicken.
The word.
How the hell do we let Rattel and Park go? Come on, for Esposito.
Yeah, no, he still lives up near we live. He lives in Amesbury, which is next town over from Newburyport. He runs a ski place up in, that place club off of 93, just as you get to the gas works there in Amesbury.
Yeah.
Brad Park owns that place.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, he's lived up here for a long time. So anyway, okay. Sorry, Raven, for the second time. Sorry, because it was such a long way to introduce you. But here we are. How are you tonight, Raven? Our good friend, our favorite good witch, also a good friend, I hope. Sideways New York, Raven.
I hope we're good friends.
Yes,
I'm doing really good. I'm just chilling.
Okay. Now we did have some bad news though. Your cat clock broke.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not working.
Hey, wait a minute.
And
that tail isn't moving? It looks like the tail's moving to me, no?
No.
No?
I don't know. I work right over behind me, and I haven't seen it move all week.
Okay.
He's in a
change the batteries?
Fame.
Yeah.
Probably needs a battery.
Probably.
There's a whole backstory to this clock. We've been
Raven,
keeping an eye
Yeah,
on it.
it's really a whole thing.
Yeah, it's a
so
thing.
it's like changing the batteries is aggravating to me.
Maybe it has a hairball.
It goes,
Raven, I hate to be the one to tell you, but I'm experiencing this kind of situation. I've seen a lot of stiffs, you know what I mean? He's joined the Toe Tag Hall of Fame.
That's Jocko's way of telling you that there's no hope for the cat clock.
There's no way to say it. It's
don't
a hard
give up.
thing to do. There's no way to say it.
Don't give up.
I agree.
Anyway, so look before we get to our top 10 of the night, okay, whether we may or may not use on the air, depending on the response, we have to go to the skew of the show. Back to Switchy. People want to know, Switch, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
This morning I had steak and eggs.
JJ, this is for you, buddy.
Whoa.
Yeah, nice. The astronaut's breakfast. Okay. Why and where? Where and why?
In my kitchen.
Oh, you cooked it?
Well, I cooked a steak the day before,
Yes.
and it was a good size.
Go ahead.
So I saved part of it, and I heated that up this morning and cooked a couple of scrambled eggs.
Wow, huh?
Along with some hot black coffee.
Yes.
And that was it. No frills. I put a little bit of shredded cheese in the eggs.
Ooh,
Yeah, just
okay.
And
jazz it up.
but nothing else, nothing fancy.
Wow, huh? And so what'd you do? Watch ABC Good Morning while you ate this, or was it noon? Was it noonish by this time?
It was getting a little bit later. I don't know if I put anything on TV or not. I was concerned about my making notes for tonight's show.
Really? Yeah. It was on your mind that early in the morning? Really? Okay. All right. Good.
Here's my show notes. See my show notes?
I don't have any show notes. Should I have show
I got
notes?
it right. I got it right here, baby.
Okay, right. That's where I got it.
So
Wow.
when all those morning shows are on,
Yeah.
I'm inspecting the inside of my eyelids for holes.
Oh, yeah.
There's no.
They're terrible,
none of that.
man. I used to watch them all the time. Now they're off. Well, that's another road. So, okay, Switchy. The astronaut's breakfast, steak and eggs, that's what they would give to them before they blasted them off into space. Very high in protein.
Yep.
And low residue, as they say. So, listen, why don't we go then to our top 10 list? Let's see. Okay, Raven, you have the top 10 list, right?
I do.
Okay. Do you want to read the title of it? I can just barely remember.
Top 10 reasons Cobra should play Superman in the movies.
Okay, top 10 reasons why Coco should play Superman in the movies. Now, they're looking for yet another Superman. How many guys have been Superman since Christopher Reeve? At least 5, right?
I don't even know.
Yeah, too many.
Doesn't matter.
So now they're going to, right, it doesn't matter because the Superman movies are not good, you know?
No,
I don't
that's the
think-
thing. They're terrible.
They're terrible, you know? And all I would say, and I've said this before, all you got to do is get someone who either used to read the comic books as kids or read the comic book and kind of get get the idea, and then just film the comic book story. As dumb as it is, as you know, he'd be flying around in some little town, America, or whatever, or meteors, you know, just do it according to like one of the stories, not making up. You know, you go through, you know, how he was born, how he came to the planet 5-6 times. Why do you have to explain that again? He's Superman. Everyone knows. Anyway,
No, I like that because Marlon Brando was his father.
right? Yes. Okay. That's when it was good. Okay.
Yeah, I like that
way back
episode.
then. It was way better then. I didn't really like them then, but compared to stuff they put out now,
Yeah, but here's the problem. Even with that one, they back then, when they went to the villains, they still had this heavy influence from the Batman TV show, which was pure camp.
Right.
I mean, it worked for what it was, but they made the villain, Lex Luthor, like a clown. He
Right.
wasn't, you know, Superman was pretty cool. The Daily Planet stuff was a little corny, but then they went off the cliff. And then with the first Batman flick with Michael Keaton,
Yep.
Michael Keaton was fine as Batman.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
the
he's the best.
Joker,
Still-
that Batman was kind of the Dark Knight persona,
Yep.
which was cool. But then the Joker was sort of like the TV Joker, silly and
Well,
clownish,
Jack Nicholson,
you know?
acting up a friggin' storm for no reason, right? Oh, is he-
Right.
So
You'd have to the first guy actually to treat villains right in that kind of a general setting was George Lucas with the first Star Wars flick. Those villains were villains. They weren't. I mean, you had humor throughout the where it was needed throughout the film.
Go ahead.
But man, Darth Vader and his buddies,
Yeah.
they were no good.
yeah,
I mean, they blew up planets
Yes,
of
yeah,
people
yeah.
that were peaceful.
Yeah.
We were peaceful.
they're in the way.
Remember that?
They're in the
Man.
way. Yes,
Thank
right.
you, Siskel and Ebert.
Enough to curl your hair. Well,
Yeah. Wow.
Take it easy, Switchy.
I'm good. I'm
He's
good.
worth about $15 billion, that guy. 15, 16, $17 billion, George Lucas.
Wow.
And when he directs a movie, you know, he never directs the actors. Ever hear that? He cannot direct.
No.
He cannot direct. So
Who does it?
he has like an assistant director or like one of the writers, or you know, he works his way around it. But he will literally say, "Okay, you know how to do it. You know, do it the way he did, and then start the camera." He cannot. He does not direct people. Where Alfred Hitchcock, you know, moved them every square inch. You know what I mean? He'd have them placed like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
And then
anyway.
he takes the credit for it.
Right. But you know what, man?
Yeah, he produces
Hitchcock
them.
didn't make $15 billion. I mean, give
That's
the guy
true.
some credit
Yeah,
there.
you ain't kidding.
No work, big reward.
Right. We should do a segment on him sometime because he was a very creepy individual. Alfred Hitchcock. Like,
Did he coin the term MacGuffin?
yes, MacGuffin. Right. MacGuffin is the thing in a lot of his stories. It's like, you know, the bag of gold.
thing-
you know, the thing.
Yeah, the thing they're pursuing. It was radium dust or whatever
Right,
in
yeah,
Notorious or something like that. It didn't really mean to have mean anything. It was like the Ark was the MacGuffin in
Right.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
It's a terrible movie, by the way. But yeah, like the Black Falcon. Same thing.
Wrong, Matt. I'm sorry.
Terrible movie. What was the name of it anyway? Which one was that?
Indiana Jones and the
With the Nazis.
the bath towels at Kmart.
Right. Now listen, you know what happens in that movie? Go through the movie, okay? Go through the movie and try not to, you know, shed too many tears. But if you watch the movie, you realize everything that the heroes do has nothing to do with the end of the movie because the Nazis
Mac,
still
as you know, being a writer,
switch.
the story
Yes.
is in the telling.
Whoever told you that? Who misled you?
Didn't Hawk Hunter ever chase
What?
what's the word I want?
Watch it. Yes, he did.
A false lead.
No.
That's not the word I want.
No, a red
You know,
herring. Red herring.
The McGovern.
A red herring.
Red
yes,
herring.
that's
No,
what's-
it just it takes up time and wastes time, and then everyone says, "Oh man, you just bum." Switch. I'll send you a couple books. You can read them. All right.
all right, cool.
I read
Anyway.
it.
Do you have the Audible versions?
Yeah, they do. Just don't listen while driving. You tend to nod off.
They're,
Look,
they're all abridged, though.
they are abridged, which is just saves money. That's
Oh yeah,
all.
I know. I've got some of the old cassettes from the old days.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, listen, if it hasn't been funny enough already, let's get to the bit. Okay. All right. Top 10. We started this so long ago talking about Superman. So, Raven, why don't you repeat the name of the bit, please?
Top reasons Cobra should play Superman in the movies.
Top 10 reasons Coco should play Superman in the movies. Okay, why don't we start the music now? And Raven,
Right.
please.
Number 10.
Go ahead.
He already knows how to fly.
See, he already knows how to fly,
Perfect.
right? Okay, so that's kind of, all right, we'll go through this one quick. Okay, number 9, please, Raven.
With the right wardrobe, team, and a Kevlar vest, bullets will probably bounce off him.
Right? 9 out of 10 of them will. Anyway, okay, this is going to be quicker than you would. All right, number 8, please.
But if they throw the gun at him, he'll get hurt.
That's true. Right.
Number 8, he can bend steel with his bare hands. We saw him do it at one of his parties when he bent a crowbar over Juan-Juan's head. It was very impressive.
There you go. Okay, bada bang. Hang on. Thank you, Draco. Checks in the mail. All right. Next one, please.
Number 7, he has his own version of kryptonite, though in his case, it's clowns dressed as hookers. But it still puts him on his ass.
There you go. Okay, it's still debilitating, all right? It's his kryptonite. Okay, next, please, Raven.
Number 6, he has a crazy cousin from Chelsea named Bizarro Bill.
Is this on? Okay.
I thought that was
That's an
funny.
inside. That's an insider.
I hate
don't know.
to say it, Mac, but this is as funny as Mother's Day at an orphanage.
Oh.
I was good, except the last one was high and inside. I didn't
And
know.
it's nothing against Raven. You're doing an excellent job. You're saving it.
Wow.
Club, I
Thank you
think
so
that last
much,
one was
Club.
called Artistic License.
Where's that one when I need him to protect me? Okay, let's go on. We'll just make it quick as possible, please, Raven.
Number 5, with proper conditioning, he can still fit inside a phone booth.
Right? You know, if he took off a few of those pounds on his love handles, as they say. Okay, next. Wow, boy, this is going to cost a fortune in sweetening up. Go ahead, please, Raven.
Number 4, he's more into Lang Lang, but hey, no judgment. Lana Lang. Oh my God.
Lana Lang, yes.
I was doing such a good job. All right.
Okay,
Number
was
3.
that might have been way too inside. The club just got it. Okay, next, please.
Number 3. He already knows how to enter a window on the top floor, feet first.
Right. We have to assume that's true. But remember in the old Superman would jump out the window, no problem, right? Open up the window, jump out the window like he was diving. But when he would come in, he would never come in head first. He'd come in feet first. It'd be like whoop. How does he make that
Go like up
maneuver?
and then like boop.
Yeah, that's a tough maneuver to pull your legs over the. How do you do it? I wish they had shown it. In 1951.
The guy could fly.
Yeah, but
Who knows?
Yeah, right. I'd just like to see it. That's all. Okay, let's
You can
go.
fly backwards and forwards.
Right.
They had him jumping out, but they just probably reversed it.
And
Tip his wings a bit.
okay. Yes. No. All I'm saying is this. Okay. What is the maneuver that you would need? You're usually flying along. Your hands are out in front of you, right? Now you come into the building whose window you're going to go in.
You have to stop in the air and then flip your feet forward and jump right in.
You
Yeah.
don't have to stop. You just bring your feet up and your tuchus up, and you're good.
Well, wait, does the feet go over the head or the head go over the feet?
The head goes
No,
over
no.
the
The
feet.
feet are under the head.
Okay, so you go that way and then film. Okay, all right. Sounds like Switch has thought this out.
I've done it a million times.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's end this train wreck as quickly as possible. Please, Raven. Number 2.
Number 2, he has been in touch with the Mole Man for years.
Wow. People have to know the history of the Superman TV show. Now I get it.
I was scared as a kid of those mole men, boy. I hated that look at them.
I look.
Cute.
Yeah, this is top 10 reasons why Coco should play Superman in the movies. Okay, they're looking for a new Superman, for another Superman movie.
Good thing Coco isn't here
I was
tonight.
going to say, yeah, good thing is right. Yeah, he'd jump in his car and come down and slap me around or something.
Secret mission, baby.
Okay. This should have been a secret mission. All right, let's go. Number 1.
All
please.
right. And number 1, he already owns a cape.
He already owns a cape.
Baby.
They need to cast him right now. He meets the criteria.
Wow. Okay.
Willie, you got connections. Make the call.
I'm looking at.
You bet.
I'm looking at Club. He's stunned. He looks stunned. Okay.
But the flaw in that is there are no more phone booths.
Yeah,
Thank you, Switchy. Thank you, Switchy. Let me take this knife on my back. A2, Switch. A2, piling on. Thank you.
See, I thought of it, Mac, but I didn't say nothing.
That's the steak talking there, Switchy. So anyway, what was it? Was it a tenderloin steak? What kind of steak was it? It wasn't chopped steak.
I don't remember. They have all kinds of different steaks there
How can you not
with different names on them.
Okay.
And some cost a lot of money and some don't cost as much money.
Okay.
Well, where were you? You're out in the Midwest, so you probably a lot of roadkill.
The roadkill
They
was a
mix
little
it
bit
in.
too expensive.
Oh,
Wow. Holy cow. Okay. All right. Well, any of us who want to go get a snack, now's the time. So thank you, Raven, for being a partner in crime in that. And we get salute. Let's salute Coco even though he's not here, okay? And maybe it will make him feel better. Who can call it out? Is someone who can call it off? You can, Switchy, right? You know how to do it.
Not really.
Okay. Club, go ahead.
And,
Step in from
and hut.
We are saluting Coco. Okay. All right. I'll send that to him first, and then I'll send the top 10. Why don't we do this? Why don't we take a break now, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Mack Maloney's Military X Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. Stay tuned.
Where is the Sea of Moons? Is it on the moon? Or in a haunted part of the Pacific Ocean? Or is it just in our heads?
What if you dreamed of meeting a beautiful Irish girl, but she turned out to be a cop? What if you dreamed that you were on TV 24/7, but only the government knew the channel? And what if you dreamed you were shipwrecked on a deserted island and rescued by 5 lovely castaways, only to have some real pirates ruin the party? Then you should wake up and read The Sea of Moons, the latest installment in Mack Maloney's best-selling series, codename Starman. Follow the adventures of U.S. Navy Special Agent Chris Starr as he travels the globe using his special ESP powers to solve top-secret mysteries. First in Ireland, then in Tahiti, and finally to Hollywood, where Chris and his girlfriend Angel discover the only spooks inside an old haunted house belong to the CIA. That's codename Starman, The Sea of Moons by Mack Maloney. On sale on Amazon and in bookstores everywhere.
Welcome back, everyone, to Mack Maloney's Military X Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. This is Mack Maloney. Girls, just got to break it to you quickly. No JJ, no Coco. How's that? All right? Is that quick enough? They're not here.
That's the way to do it.
They're not here tonight. They're on secret missions. Moving up the food chain, though, and doing it happily is our national correspondent, Switchblade Steve Wood. Switchy.
It's great to be here, and I'm going to enjoy seeing that check of my per diem increasing significantly.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's in the mail, Switch. Listen, if you're second in command, you donate all your salary to Mack Maloney Orphan Fund. So you didn't get that moment?
Strangely enough, I'm implementing a new policy.
Oh, wow. Already trying to take over. Okay. Interesting.
Well, get ready, Switch, because it comes in Bitcoin.
Yes, okay. Well, that's a funny. We laugh now. I don't know. Is Bitcoin? Well, let's introduce.
Can't figure that out.
Yeah, let's introduce everyone first. Okay. Also with us, that voice you hear is our security chief, Willie Clubb.
Mac,
Hubby.
good to be here.
Okay. Good.
Are you sure?
Keep it
I had
on.
to think about that for a minute. The show is getting into my head tonight, I guess.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Mission accomplished. All right. Southern correspondent, Jocko Johnson, JoJo.
Always glad to be here, Mac.
Okay. Saving the best for last.
That's like my Cobra invitation.
Yes. Oh, wow. Very good. Very well done. Do it again. Let's hear.
Very glad to be here, Mac.
Wow. I think you've got it kind of. We're saving the best for last. Favorite good witch up there.
Only because I miss him.
Yeah, he missed. Well, that explains the tears and the tissues. Favorite good witch up there in Sideways, New York. Raven is with us. Raven.
Hello, my friends.
Happy as ever. Jolly.
I am. Look at this like bright red drink I have.
Wow. Okay.
Isn't it
yes.
so cute?
The other one's
cute.
gone already.
It looks healthy in a way too, and it's a
Yeah, it's like
raspberry
juice.
beer. Raspberry beer.
Yeah, raspberry jammin' from Beer Tree.
It's all
Wow.
good stuff in there.
Okay, so we've already talked how you showed what some people consider an inappropriate movie to your young relatives, right?
Arguably.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good. All right. Mix it up. Hey, listen. She's got to grow up sometime. I mean, some of the stuff on it, it's a strange movie, and I've only seen parts of it, so I can't speak for the whole movie. We're talking about Eraserhead. Been around for a long time, too. It's not a new movie. But there were movies like It. Have you seen It and It 2 about the clown in the sewers? I mean, those things
I
are
love it. Tim Curry. Oh,
Yeah.
he has my heart and soul.
nuts.
I love him so
nutty.
much.
But there is effed up and not in a creepy way, but there's a lot of, blood splatter and stuff like that. Anyway, okay, so Raven is with us, all right. We just did a disastrous bit earlier. We're hoping that we're on the ascent now, show-wise. So we're going to throw it to our wide receiver, Jocko Johnson. Jocko,
Got the ball, baby.
we talked about this 3 or 4 weeks ago, and about how in just American military history, the weather has played a crucial part in some very crucial battles that we had to win, or we wouldn't be here right now, at least not in this form. And we talked earlier about a segment we did earlier, how George Washington had to evacuate like the entire Revolutionary Army during a low point in the Revolution. Had to go from one of the islands to the other in Brooklyn Harbor. Where did you go, from Brooklyn to Manhattan? Was that the angle?
New Jersey, the British were on Manhattan.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you got to go around the bottom of the water there at the bottom of Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, and up and around to the Palisades.
Yep. And a mysterious fog came in, something that people had never seen before, hadn't seen since. And
Incredible.
Just long enough for him to evacuate like this entire army in rowboats, by the way. And then they put like padding on their the oars so they wouldn't be heard.
Right. That was the Cape Cod, Massachusetts, Boston whalers and fishermen, and the fog was so thick they passed within inches of some of the ships with lookouts and they couldn't see a thing.
Wow, crazy, man. And just never seen again, which is just so weird. So anyway,
go
ahead.
As soon as they got there, it just cleared.
It just goes away. Yeah, strange. So there's we have 2 more examples tonight. So Jocko taking a swig of a beverage. Okay, I'm sure it's orange juice or some kind of healthy drink.
Yeah, lemon juice.
Okay, lemon. Really? Okay, and you're drinking lemon juice? You're not drinking lemon juice.
It's an Italian beverage. It's called limoncello.
Oh, okay. That's how. Okay, I didn't realize.
Two sips and you don't know what's going on.
An Italian name.
It's like 100 proof. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, I've had my battles with limoncello a few times. So anyway, Jocko, I'm going to throw it to you. You ready? Here we go.
Okay.
45
We're
yard
going to go
pass.
to the War of 1812 today.
Do it.
And this was a war where the British decided that they were going to come and give the comeuppant Yankees a little bit of a drubbing, as they put it. The Napoleonic Wars were finished. It was in 1814, Napoleon, or right after 1812, he gets captured again. He's defeated at Waterloo, and he's sent over to, this time, St. Helena, way out in the middle of the ocean there where nobody can get him back like when he went to Elba. So this time, the British get on 40 warships, man-of-wars, frigates, the most powerful navy in the world. Not a problem. They just say, go over there and straighten these guys out. The French are coming down from Canada. They're messing with our guys up there in Canada. The Americans are helping them. We don't like it. The Americans don't like it because the British, they know are coming, and they also have been for years, since the shores of Tripoli and the whole story, been kidnapping their sailors off the American merchant and naval vessels.
Impressment.
So the British decide that they're going to land, and they pull into Chesapeake Bay. And they have boats. They maneuver their way expertly as the world's greatest seamen at the time. This empire never sets on the sun never sets on the British Empire.
Okay.
They go into a little place called Bladensburg, which is in Maryland.
Yes.
And it's right along the border of New York. And they have officers that are battle-hardened and soldiers. These are the guys that had fought Napoleon for the last 20 years.
Interesting. Yep.
And they are ready to go.
Yep.
These guys are the best of the best.
Yep.
And battle-hardened, tough soldiers. The Americans have not as much left with this at this point.
Right.
The military is very small. It's the guys from the Revolution. They're gone. There's not a lot of experience around.
Right.
And Madison sends out this particular captain or in charge of this general, rather, by the name of Winder, I believe. Wait, let me make sure I got that right. And he goes out to Bladensburg.
Yes.
And he wants to defend this. And the British have this General Robert Ross, and he does not like the Yankees.
Okay.
So he sends his boys in there.
You don't like the Yankees. Okay, go ahead.
Right. He was a Met fan.
It's okay.
We don't like them either.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, he might have been a Red Sox fan. I don't know.
Don't say that.
So the American General Winder organized his forces, which are 6,500 men, against only 4,000 British.
Interesting.
But the British line up in squares, as they always do in the Napoleonic tradition.
Yep.
And he lines his troops up in two separate lines, one single row.
Yes.
So they can't fire and reload and fire and reload. They don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So they are just brushed away. The British go into Washington. They ransack the city. It's raping and pillaging. They take everything out. And so they get in there. It's now the 24th of August, 1814, and they set fire to the Capitol building.
They burn part of Washington.
The U.S. Capitol.
Right.
They burn the U.S. Capitol, which at that time housed not only Congress, but the Supreme Court and the Library of Congress. They destroy everything in the Library of Congress.
Burnt everything. Burnt them.
Then they set the White House afire.
How about this?
Famously sending First Lady Dolly Madison running through the streets, not with the painting of Washington in her hand, but she gave that to some servants, and they took that with her.
Okay.
Madison had already left with the government after the debacle at Bladensburg.
Yes.
And this was considered the greatest threat to our democracy at that time.
Dark day.
Sorry?
It's a dark day in our history.
Exactly.
So,
well, the British are in the White House, and the meal for Madison was set at the table because he was waiting for his general to come back and have this feast. Say, yeah, we took care of the action. Everything's good. We're good. We threw these guys out. We outnumbered them. We should have beat them, right?
Yep.
So the British sit down and say, look at this. They've got the meal, the victory meal set for us. And they sit down and they start eating.
Wow.
They finish and they say, let's burn the place down.
Ah.
So they get to the presidential mansion, which was called at that time, and they set it afire.
I can just
the next morning.
I can just hear our fans on Paranormal UK just dropping off like flies on a cold day. Would you?
Well, this is history. It's the way it happened. So
okay, all right.
I don't know what to tell you. The British were pretty fierce at the time. They, like I said, the sun never set on the British Empire.
At the time,
they ruled the world, and they were the guys.
See what happened to them.
And they didn't like this upstart. Oh, we had to help them out a few times. You know what I mean?
Well,
so
we'll
they
get
didn't like
into
this
that.
Upstart little colonies, colonists taking some action here. You know,
exactly twice. World War I and World War II. We gave them a little bit of a nudge that they needed to win the war.
I think twice we did that.
Right. So go ahead, please, Draco. So what happened now?
Okay. So what happens is the next morning, with the previous day's fire still smoldering, British troops continue their arson, and that's when a severe thunderstorm, possibly a hurricane, on August 25th, came barreling in. A pounding rain, they said, put all the fires out. The buildings were gutted, but the structures on the outside stayed.
Saved.
The White House, as it's built today, is not a stone building. People think it's made of stone on the outside.
Interesting.
It's a very intricate kind of a colonial architecture where they put wood on it that looked like stones, and they paint it with a sand paint.
Wow.
If you even touch it today, you can see it's not stone.
Wow, huh?
And there's bricks behind it when they redid it with Harry Truman. They put steel girders. The floors were warping, falling through, and everything else.
Wow. Okay.
So, and they've had that dug out inside interiors and redone many times now.
Yes.
You know, they put bunkers in there. They had to do communications.
They say if you go into the real White House, the White House been around for a long time. It's like kind of dumpy.
Well, yeah, they rebuilt it after this when it was burnt down. It took some time, and
so then
that's when it was called the White House. Before that, it was just called the Presidential Mansion.
The house, right? The crib.
So the pounding rain comes in,
puts out the fires.
Yeah, wind sent debris, flying all over, killing several British soldiers. Then a tornado touched down in the middle of Constitution Avenue, sending cannons, actual cannons, into the air.
Now we have to say,
which landed on top of British soldiers fleeing.
We have to say that as Jocko gets reconnected, that there's only been one tornado ever recorded in Washington, D.C., and it's the one we're talking about now. It's not in
tornado. It's not in the path of hurricanes.
Yeah, or tornadoes, frankly. Okay.
Exactly. I mean, it's usually they could skim the coast, but it's inland enough where there's not a lot of flooding and damage, and Washington's built on a swamp, really.
Right. So that kind of saves Washington as well, right?
Well, yeah, the British are terrified, and they run for their lives because, soldiers are very superstitious. And especially these veterans, they look and they see signals, signs. They don't like it.
That's all it took.
And a British admiral explained to a resident, "Great God, madam, is this the kind of storm to which you are accustomed to in this infernal country?" Of course, it was not. And historians say the British never intended to occupy the city, only to raise it. Others disagree.
Yes.
In any case, they were in and out 26 hours, and the incident soon became known as the storm that saved Washington.
How about that?
They look back now, and from the descriptions, they maybe said it was at least a Category 2 hurricane.
Okay, that's a big hurricane. That's pretty big.
That's right, especially for those kind of buildings nobody ever built like we do today, maybe, and look at the damage we get today.
Right. Yeah, funny. Yeah, and just, just those two freak things to happen, and it drove the British back, twice, and then they said, this isn't worth it, old chum. Let's move on. And then, weeks later, what really happened was that they beat the British Army in the Battle of New Orleans. That's an incredible
Well, before
story.
that, the British sailed back down the Chesapeake, and they decide they're going to burn the second biggest city in the country at the time, at the port along the south.
Yes.
And they go to Baltimore Harbor.
Yes, okay.
And they want to bring Baltimore down. But placed in that harbor is Fort McHenry, which was a perfectly defensive position.
Star Spangled Banner.
It's just where it has to be, and that's right. And that's where we get that, because they cannot penetrate the harbor. We sink their ships. We have
penetrate.
They take some other casualties, and they say, this is not worth it. Let's just get out of here.
Yes.
And they go down to New Orleans. They meet up with some other forces, and they're defeated there as well.
They're defeated in the Battle of New Orleans, right, which is an interesting battle on itself. Thank you, Jocko. Let's salute Jocko, okay? Now that we know how to do it, please. Who's going to call it off? Please, Club, call it off.
And hut.
We are saluting you, Jocko.
Returned.
He salutes very well.
I missed it.
Raven and I need work
Look,
on us.
Raven, watch. See, a little bit of a curve.
A little bit of a thing.
Okay,
A little bit of an angle.
Right at the tip.
Put the thumb at the tip.
Swift. Like a razor. There you go.
Okay. We'll have to practice it. Anyway, wow, Jocko.
And your right hand.
Right
hand.
Always your right hand. That
shoot.
much I know. Oh, yeah.
I was told that before. Sorry.
That makes a difference, apparently, in that world.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Hey, listen, thank you, Jocko.
Just trying.
Thank you, Jocko. Right, it's the effort that counts.
That's right.
Why don't we...
My job to monitor this stuff. So
you're right, sir. I'm sorry, sir. I would have got 50 push-ups for that. Man, I would have been on there. I would have been pounding them out.
What's the over-under on that? 50?
Hey, in my old days, no problem.
Sorry. All right. Anyway, why don't we take...
6'3", 215, baby. I was a lean, mean fighting machine.
Oh, with a gun and a billy club and a badge. All right, yeah. Yep. See, they'd make a great series. Jocko.
A shield, baby. Fireman
shield. Oh, I'm sorry. So why don't we do this? Why don't we take a break now? And we'll be right back after this. You're listening to Mack Maloney's Millitracks, our show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. We'll be right back after this.
I was in the hospital with my son for 18 months.
When he got injured, I wasn't prepared, but I knew I had to be strong.
When I was told about John's injury, I was in complete shock. I just remember rushing into his room and giving him a big hug and letting him know I was there.
These veterans and families are just a few of the heroes we serve at Homes for Our Troops. For thousands of severely injured veterans, everyday life is filled with barriers.
It was really the little things throughout the house. Counters that you can't roll up to. I had to drag my wheelchair down steps.
I want to help, but he is so determined.
At Homes for Our Troops, we build specially adapted custom homes with features like wheelchair access, roll-in showers, and automatic door openers that allow them to function independently and focus on their recovery and family.
This house is freedom. It's hope. It's a new beginning.
This house has given me my family back.
To learn more, visit hfotusa.org.
Jocko is here, and Raven is here. So we don't need those guys. I mean, how do you feel? Now do you feel like something's missing? I do, as it turns out.
Yeah, I miss my guys.
I feel like there's a piece of us that's not here, for sure.
Wait, I can't figure
the
what
names
piece,
again?
though.
Hang on.
I just miss looking at Juan-Juan because he kills me.
Yeah, go ahead, Club, please. Repeat.
Yes.
Repeat.
Well, she said they're missing a piece. I'm not sure what piece of them we're missing.
Whoa, hang on.
But but no, certainly it's not the same without the guys.
Without the jovial Juan-Juan and the stern but happy.
We've been able to carry on, I think.
I think we're doing a hell of a job
yeah.
until I asked everyone, and they all said they miss Coco and JJ. But okay, let's carry on. You know, we needed them to laugh at the top 10, for instance, right?
I tried.
All right. Thank you, Jocko.
I laughed when it was funny.
Okay. Thank you, Jocko, once again. So why don't we do this? So everyone here, the whole gang is here. And what we're going to do now is, did I introduce everyone? Raven, did I introduce you? We'll introduce you again.
Introduced everyone.
Let's do it again. Our favorite good witch up there in Sideways in York, Raven. How are you doing?
You got to patent that, Mac. You got to trademark that. That is great.
I'm doing so good. You do need to patent that for sure.
Okay. Where's the cat? Where's the dog? Where are they? What's their location?
Friday is across the hall on her king-size bed.
Wow, huh?
Which is my bed, but she uses it as her bed. Okay. And Scotch is probably downstairs, snuggled under all of his blankets because he gets really cold. I mean, it's only 8 degrees here, so he needs to burrow under his blankets.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, dogs.
I understand all of that.
Yep. We should do a segment on dogs at some point because I have this theory now that as let's just and put all kind of arguments aside, but as our civilization grows more intelligent, the pets that we have or the animals that we have that are what's called domesticated, doesn't it make sense that they are also getting more intelligent? Do you know what I mean? Like now you can talk to dogs and you can talk to cats through this. Have you ever seen those things where they step on and they have a conversation with the pet? It blows my mind.
I've seen those, and then the little automatic treat things, which thankfully I don't need to use. I work at home all day, so I'm always home, but I have seen them, and I mean my animals know. They play me like a fiddle. I mean, they know exactly what they need to do to get what they want, and I cave every time.
You see, I'm going
They're
down.
very smart.
I'm going down the rabbit hole too much on YouTube when I should be doing other things. But there's videos over there. Not only do they show cats and dogs communicating via these stepping on different kind of light patterns. Okay, but they'll show a dog that doesn't want to go outside, so he's faking a limp. He's faking a limp so the owner won't put him out in the cold.
My past dog did that.
Okay. All right. Now think about that for a second. And then he gets not to go outside in the rain and the snow or whatever. All right. Think of the thought pattern of that.
I'm sorry.
I was just going to say the thought pattern of actually trying to fool your owner and it working by pretending that.
Well, they learn from us. I know when I was a young kid and I didn't want to go to school, I'd always fake a limp.
Oh yeah, okay.
And so the dogs learn from that.
Just trying to get a workman's comp.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for. I had a purebred Jack Russell Terrier. She was a sweetheart, and she, I've had dogs every day since I was a kid, my whole life.
Yes.
So, I don't, I don't know if they're getting smarter. I mean, it takes us about 24,000 years to evolve into something different, maybe.
24, yeah. 20, but they like, for instance, you'll see them now, and maybe you just see them more because it's YouTube and never, but...
Right. I think we're smarter to teach them more.
Right. Yeah, they're like pushing the doorbells on the, the video camera at the door and all that stuff. You see that they know how to push that and, to get the person on the video to let them in. And they have all these intricate ways of stealing food. And, the dogs will rip apart the apartment, and the owner comes home and he goes nuts. And he goes, who does that? And one of the dogs will go, give him a little bit of a head shake as if, Fido over here did it. I mean, that's this.
Like
I mean,
I was saying, my dog, she was running around the yard, stepped in like a gopher hole, really, blowing full speed, and she hurt her knee. So we take it to the vet, he checks, he's like, well, it just needs to heal, and, he could show me the kneecap and all this. I'm like, you're kidding me. It's the size of a pea,
Yeah.
So he says, she'll be all right, carry it down the stairs if you have steps to go outside. So we would carry it down, put it down. She wasn't heavy. And then after she was well, she'd run around the house. But when she went out, she still wanted to carry it down the stairs, and she'd go limp. And I'm like, I can't believe this. This is nuts.
But look at that's in a way it's learned behavior, but in another way it isn't. It's really having the kind of sense to think I can actually fool somebody to get more food or to go out or to stay in, and this whole thing with this real quick. We talked about on the show a couple of weeks ago where they have these arrays on the floor, and there's this dog called Bunny, okay? And the owners have a conversation with the dog, and the way that the dog talks is he steps on a button that produces a color. So, he's there, and, he comes over, and now, of course, you see the dog being really, really smart, but you don't see the 9,000 other videos where the dog didn't, what to do,
You don't know
right?
how they cut it up or what, but, the thing you got to watch is these huskies. They actually can vocalize.
All right, so, it gets into that, okay, where they say to the dog, in fact, the dog, he might be a husky, to tell you the truth, but he's one of those dogs, okay, smart dog, and they get in a conversation with them, where's Puddles, he's the cat, Puddles is upstairs, and he'll hit upstairs, and sure enough, the cat's upstairs.
I'd love to see
stuff
it.
like
Can you
that.
send me that link?
Just go on TikTok. And it's called
I see them all the time.
Vocalizing with your dog, and it shows this kind of interaction, and it would be so strange if we were able to kind of communicate with dogs and cats. And
I want everyone to write it down. 7:41 p.m.
Yes.
Mac uses TikTok, and I don't.
Wow, there you go. Hey, listen, baby, I'm up to TikTok. Well, okay, yes, all right. They don't have any more dirty stuff on TikTok.
I don't like the guys that are behind it, right, Willie?
I went.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm talking about, those guys over there in the Communist Chinese Republic.
Is that where it's from? Is it TikTok from China?
Yeah.
Wow.
Everything comes from
Communist
over there.
Chinese control.
See, they're really getting in our pants.
Mac, I wanted to get back while I think of it. But
they know your underwear size by now,
Mac.
They
Animals.
got everything. They hacked you to death.
Okay.
Dogs and cats, if you have, there's theories in reincarnation, that we just don't come back as other humans, that we come back as animals.
Really?
So you got to give some thought to the fact that, maybe that dog used to be, one of your neighbors or something. But there's a reincarnation piece in there that there's a theory about.
Good, yeah, that right.
I had a Buddhist friend who firmly believed that. They Buddhists believe that.
Wow.
I feel like Claude is definitely onto something there, for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's all this idea, does memories... are memories carried over by DNA? That would be like the simplest question to ask, okay? And then if they are, then it would have to also be for the animal world or whatever. Do memories carry over in DNA? It's a good question because I remember stuff it seems like my father actually went through or something. I feel that I dream it and every once in a while. And
Mac, as you know, I discussed that with a neighborhood kid,
right,
that
sure,
he believed he was in World War II. I mean, he could recite, incidents of him getting shot and all that. So that's the DNA thing, I think.
Right. It's got to be something like that. But anyway.
Well, I did a past life regression.
You did?
You did?
Yeah. I found out I was the flea that started the bubonic plague.
Oh, boy.
So I'm hoping that...
Hang on.
I'm hoping that life path gets
Way
better
to save
as we
it.
go on.
Way to save it.
That
Kick saving a beauty.
I got so excited.
That
Well,
gets
what do you expect?
You know, the thing with that is everybody was reborn from, like, they were Cleopatra, Julius Caesar, or Abe Lincoln, George Washington. Nobody was ever like Joe the bread salesman.
Oh, never. Yeah. But
and how many fleas were there?
Switch
You know,
was
I ask you.
had to be a couple million anyway. Okay, Switch.
Stop scratching your head there.
Wow. Okay. All right. He chose to be
Mac,
to be a flea.
Mac, it's like, you know, this is like thinking, how can the universe be unending? Where does it go? You can't. It just blows you away.
Yes, it does. Now, what we're going to do, you know, talk about being blown away. We're going to get creeped out here now. You ready? And I just want to say, as a preamble, that the day crew has left the station, so I'm the only one here in the station. Okay. Okay. So.
What about Bob?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm the only one, you know, still living and breathing who's here. Who else is here? We'll find out. We're going to throw it to Raven, though, because we had this very, very strange story that she sent to me a couple of nights ago. And it's about this odd painting that was, you know, she'll give you the history on it. It's called The Hands That Resist Him, or The Hands Resist Him. And so if you have a chance now, just Google it so you know what we're talking about as we're talking about it. The Hands Resist Him. If you just Google that, some people Google The Hands That Resist Him, but you'll see the photo. You'll see the photo of this painting. We're going to talk about it now. It's like one of these things that the more you know about it, the creepier it gets, right, Raven?
Yeah, we are talking about The Hands Resist Him. This was painted in 1972 by William Bill, as we'll refer to him, Stoneham. And this is an oil on canvas. So in The Hands That Resist Him, we do see a little boy and a life-size doll, which, as we were talking off air, it does look like it's a little girl that's next to him.
At first.
But it is a doll. If you look at it a little closer, you can see she almost has like a wooden slat mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And they're standing together in front of a paneled glass door. The life-size doll has black eyes, which struck me because of the black-eyed kids.
Yes.
She has a frown, and she's holding a dry cell. At least that's what a lot of people think that it is. I look at it, and I'm just not even sure what I'm looking at.
What do they say?
It is.
What do they say?
Speculated.
What do they say that?
They think it's a dry cell.
What is that?
Like a battery.
Really? That's a weird thing.
I don't see a battery.
Well, it's got a couple terminals on it.
It does have terminals.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I look at it, and I'm like, I just don't even know what I'm looking at. So maybe it's a battery from, I don't know.
Wow, huh?
The 1600s or something.
Okay, go ahead.
To me, it looks like a thermos bottle. It looks like a thermos bottle.
See, there's lots of
but it's got two terminals coming out with, Y compression terminals on the end of like two pieces of wire.
Wow. Switchy used to be an electrician, so he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Right, Switchy? Okay, anyway. So it's one or the other. But
it's one or the other. And so then behind this odd pair, we have behind these two and a glass door, we see these tiny little handprints pressing up against the glass from the inside. Which is just a vom situation. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
So
no one does.
Bill Stoneham, the painter, he was born in Boston.
Wow.
Hello.
Uh-huh.
He was born on January 1st, 1947. So we have a Capricorn on our hands.
Uh-huh.
And he was actually adopted at the age of 9 months. And from Boston, his family moved him to Chicago. Ultimately, he would end up in California, and that's where his career, I guess you can call it a career, kind of took off.
Go ahead.
We'll get into it. So when he was in California, he was working for a gallery, and he was commissioned to complete 2 paintings a month. And in 1972, this is where The Hands Resist Him was born. In 1974, 2 years after he was completed with this painting, The Hands Resist Him was put on display at the gallery he was working at, which was called Feingarten Gallery, and that was located in Beverly Hills, California. So per Bill, the the little boy in the painting was actually based off of him.
Right. It's a self-portrait of him.
It's a self-portrait of him at the age of 5 when he was living in Chicago with his family.
Wow.
Specifically. So it was based off of that. Sources do say that it was also based off of a poem that was written by his first wife. All I could find on that was the poem. Yeah. I couldn't find anything else. So it's a beautiful poem, and I do have it. If you guys want to hear it, I can definitely read it.
Okay, go ahead. How many lines is it?
At least 2.
Okay. Let's hear 2 of them. Okay.
He is of.
Think of a music bed to put under
seeing
this.
visions. His strokes reveal them. In a rush of color, of madness, of mystics, and his head is the highest center. It must confront his enemy. The hands resist him, like the secret of his birth. His presence is the sanctum heartbeat, felt in darkness and in passion. Its sound, the soul, gift to the alliance.
Wowee. Okay. What is going on with this painting? Okay, go ahead, please. Raven, continue.
So, all right. So he states that the door that's behind him and the doll is supposed to represent the veil between the waking world and the dream world. The doll is supposed to represent his guide between the 2 realms.
Oh my God.
And all the hands that are pressing on the glass are supposed to be the other lives. Mm-hmm. And again, that was kind of all I could find. Yeah. And like, that was it. And so I was like, okay.
Yes.
So,
yep.
Raven, do you notice in the bottom right-hand corner of the picture, there's a small hand at the very bottom looking straight at it, and there's almost like an eyeball. Like
I did see that.
See that right in his wrist? I mean, that just blows me away. That's weird.
Yeah,
and he's got a COVID-19 picture also. Did you see the COVID-19 one?
COVID-19? What are we talking about?
Yeah, it's in there further.
We'll get into that.
He's been dead for 40 years, hasn't he? Or is he still alive?
I don't know.
He's still alive, yeah.
Oh, is he?
Okay,
he's still alive and kicking.
He got vaccinated.
We're going to get into it.
Okay, go ahead.
So the painting was actually purchased from the gallery by actor John Marley, who you may know from The Godfather. And the weird thing is that by 1984, the gallery owner, his name was Chuck Feingarten, the art critic that actually reviewed his show in 1974, Henry Seldis, and John Marley were all dead.
Oh, really?
I feel like it's a little bit irrelevant. Like it just kind of seems like it's a coincidence.
Go ahead.
But it was in every single article that I looked up regarding this. Wow. Everyone was pointing to how these 3 specifically died like super close together. And it is strange, but I mean, I guess we're not really going to be able to tie it back to this.
Strange things happen.
In any case.
There we go. Okay,
so he purchased that. And then after he died, it pretty much disappeared for 16 years. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it resurfaced. So now we're in 2000 and we see an eBay posting by a seller known only as Lucy. And she was trying to get rid of this painting, stating that it was haunted.
Yes, yes.
Lucy claims that she found the painting in the year 2000 behind a brewery, and she decided to take the piece home with her.
Behind a brewery.
It is beautiful, I feel. So I would probably have done the same thing, honestly.
It looks like something a little bit better than your normal kind of, hotel painting or whatever. It was
exactly like you don't
do.
want like dentist office painting.
Right.
Like you want like something weird. Well, and I don't know. I just love it.
Go ahead.
But she brings it home, and a couple weeks into this painting being in her house, her daughter starts complaining that the painting's keeping her up at night, and that the little boy and the doll would come to life at night and they would fight. And so they took it seriously because I guess the little girl, I think she was 4. So they were like, okay, like maybe this isn't like an exaggeration, whatever. They decided to actually set up cameras. And so what they caught was definitely not what they were expecting to see.
All right.
So stills of the security footage do depict the doll. She almost changes. Her entire face seems to to become glaringly angry.
Really?
You can see her frown just turn into I mean, I don't even know how else to describe it other than it almost, she's just glaring mad.
She's mad.
And the dry cell that we were talking about earlier also morphs into what looks like a gun that's actually pointed at the little boy.
Okay, so now this comes from putting a camera on the painting in the middle of the night, and you see this change in the painting. Oh my God!
Correct.
I am the only one here. Thank you, Raven. Go ahead.
So the sellers do warn potential buyers that it's not for the faint of heart. This isn't for anyone that hasn't experienced supernatural forces. Like they definitely are only looking for serious buyers that actually know what they're dealing with here.
Go ahead.
So it was approximately 30,000 viewers looked at this
online,
and viewers even on eBay, and they even reported feeling that they were sick upon looking at it. Some experienced a choking sensation.
Really?
And even one viewer claimed that the screen became white and it was almost like a burning sensation that he felt.
Wow. Yikes. Wow. You know, I felt a choking sensation back at the top 10 list, but that's another story. So anyway.
Look out. Turn around. Watch out.
Okay, hang on. Hey, Jocko, knock it off there, brother. Okay.
I got you covered. Don't worry.
Yeah, well, you're 500, 800 miles away. What are you going to do?
That's what you think.
That's what you think. Oh, I wish you were, right here, frankly, right now.
If I was there, forget it. We'd have a time of our life.
Okay, all right. How do we drive home? We don't know. Go ahead, please.
You wouldn't be able to drive home.
That's what the limo's for. Go ahead, Raven, please.
So ultimately, the piece sold to Kim Smith. He's a gallery owner in Michigan, and that's where their painting remains today.
How much?
Kim states that it was $1,025.
Okay, all right.
Cheap.
All right.
It's very cheap.
Cheap.
So Kim states that he doesn't get the heebs from the painting, and he's never had any type of supernatural experience near it, but his sons are not convinced, and they are not comfortable with having the painting in their family gallery. So apparently it just stays in Kim's back office, and he pretends like it's not there.
Why don't the kids lay off the weed? Maybe they'll feel a little better.
They're probably doing acid.
Okay, don't.
They're probably having a good time.
Okay,
they should keep doing that.
Right. Okay, well,
somebody's doing acid. Maybe the guy with the brush.
Okay. Well, right.
So Kim actually ended up reaching out to Bill when he realized he connected the dots and realized that the artist was still alive.
Yes.
So according to Bill, once a piece was purchased by John Marley, he just kind of wiped his hands of the whole thing and was like, meh.
That's
like, I don't need to think about it anymore.
Yep.
And so he never thought about it. Bill still paints to this day at his home in Washington. He actually created an additional 4 pieces that go along with the hands resistant, and they're amazing.
Yep.
So we have Resistance at the Threshold from 2004.
Okay.
Threshold of Revelation from 2012. The Hands Invent Him from 2017, and What Remains from 2021.
Wow.
Beautiful.
It's the
absolutely beautiful.
It's the wingman business model. Okay, just keep them coming. That's all.
Exactly.
It'll be the hands go to Japan in a few years. Right?
There you go.
I see there's a video online on that too. Did you see that?
Yes.
I watched a few. There's a few different ones. I've also listened to several different podcasts that have done this story.
Creepy.
And it's just very strange because even Bill to this day, he can't really figure out what he did during his creative process that made people so drawn to this in such a I don't want to say violent, but like scary way.
A scary way.
He has no idea what he did, and his other paintings he's definitely talented. That's for sure.
Yep.
I mean, you can tell that he definitely lives in that
art
kind
world.
of lucid maybe state where he's kind of maybe existing in both worlds is the best way that I can describe it.
He's insane. Go ahead.
I just he might be insane, but I love it. But I absolutely love it.
Let me ask you this. Okay, this is what intrigued me more than anything was he was commissioned to do this by that gallery, meaning the guy who ran the gallery sought him out and said, "Yeah, we'll do 4 paintings for me, and we'll put them in the gallery, and you get a cut, I get a cut, that type of thing." But he was commissioned to do this, so. What a weird thing to turn in, Oh, yeah, the hands is what? It's just so creepy. But that gallery must have known there are people, it's a highfalutin gallery. It's in Beverly Hills. They must have known someone who's going to buy kind of a way out painting in 72.
Yeah, they must have known something. They do speculate that it's possible that because he was adopted at such a young age, he has that disconnect with his biological parents and any siblings that he may have had.
Yep.
And maybe this has something to do with it because of all the little hands that are pressed against it. So that's a possibility. And we'll never know. He's still alive, so it's like we might know. He's 75. It's very possible that maybe he will come out and say, hey, like, this is what this really means. Mm-hmm. Maybe. Well, Bill, hey, out there?
Let's get him on the show.
The 404, the 411, the 411, not the 404. Oh, my God.
Minus 3. Why don't we get him on the show? I'll call him.
Matt, can I say something?
Sure.
Raven, if we look at Google, Fine Art America, there is a picture in his I guess his folder or whatever you call it.
Yes.
And it is a alleyway that is like just, disheveled. There's a car in there that's fallen apart. It's like it looks like a 50s or 40s or maybe even a Volkswagen Bug or something, but it's just like, wrecked.
Go ahead.
There's a guy with a shopping cart full of skulls. He looks like he's wearing a gas mask, like the figure of death, though.
Okay.
With his fingers, and he's got this red blanket on him, like a homeless guy. Okay. He's pushing this cart down the alleyway. The car has a license plate that's a COV19.
Okay.
There's a mushroom that looks like something alien in the tree.
There you go.
With tentacles. And then, if you look way back in the arch, there's somebody standing there. I swear, to me, it looks like a German World War I stormtrooper.
Okay.
This is just like mind blowing.
Well,
it's just, where I came from, there was names for this stuff that I couldn't say right now.
Good.
But where I live now, they would say, he ain't right. And you look down further, there's other photos where, I just can't even, I can't imagine somebody coming up with this stuff.
How about this?
I think he's just eccentric.
There's a big mushroom in there.
Eccentricity,
there's a big mushroom in there, and just Google mushrooms. Anyway, shrooms. Anyway, why don't we do this? Thank you, Raven. Okay, thank you for creeping us out. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Let's clap for her.
I won't be able to sleep tonight.
Well, we're not going to. Please clap for her. We're not going to be able to salute her.
Oh, you guys don't have to clap.
Hey, Raven, further down, he's got one. I believe the Slender Man is in there.
See, I was going to say there's a Slender Man thing going on here.
You see the Slender Man? Go to fineartamerica.com.
See, that whole Slender Man is very, very creepy, and
I got like him, Mac.
I got a Slender Man vibe off of this thing. Anyway, so listen, why don't we take that commercial break now, and we'll be right back after this. You're listening to Mack Maloney's Military Exile Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Do you know where the world's most secret bases are located? Do you know what spooky action at a distance means? Is there a conspiracy by aliens to prevent us from conquering space? And where is the best place in the United States to see a real UFO? Find the answers to all these questions and more in Mack Maloney's new book, Mack Maloney's Haunted Universe. Visit places you never knew existed: the Phantom Tunnels of Tokyo, the UFO Trail in South America, Hong's Hat, and the very mysterious M Triangle. Mack Maloney's Haunted Universe contains hundreds of reports on ghosts, haunted planes and ships, weird celebrity deaths, mysterious sounds, and a breakdown of every monster in America, state by state. You've heard him talk about it on the radio. Now, get all of Mack's paranormal research in one large volume. Mack Maloney's Haunted Universe, with a foreword by the very famous Juan-Juan. On sale now in your local bookstore or on Amazon.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Mack Maloney's Military Exile Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. This is Mack Maloney. Wow, what a show we've had for you tonight. And as we talked about earlier, it seems like a couple of our appendages have been cut off because there's no JJ, girls, and no CC either. They're both out on secret missions on the same Tuesday night. So it's just us chickens here. Moving up his way on the food chain, Switchblade Steve Ward, and now vice president of the Vast Corporation.
Great to be here in a new food group.
Distant Thunder. Yes, okay. Also here is our security chief, Willie Clubb.
Hi, Mac. It's good to be here, even without, having those appendages that we normally have.
Right. Hey, some appendages you don't need anymore, so they tell me.
I found that out, yeah.
Right, okay. Also here, who just revealed to us that he has a master's, almost a doctorate in criminology, Jocko Johnson, way down there in Dixon.
That was just for us, but okay.
Okay.
I could share the diplomas. So.
Okay.
Anyway, I like to think that in my mind, I picture Coco flying a stealth helicopter onto the teeth with JJ in the middle, jumping out a door, rappelling into like a hive of terrorists to hack their computers.
Sure, yes, hack their computers, yes.
It's a black op operation.
He would know how to do that, I guess.
Pick them up and they blow the joint up. Oh, it's crazy.
Yes, right.
And he's got the thumb drive, little JJ there.
Yeah. Okay, wow. Let's put some music to that.
But he didn't get the intelligence. He got like girly magazines and stuff.
Well, that
kind of movies and things.
Now you're talking Juan-Juan.
Is it? Yeah, it took his. It caught his attention and he couldn't help it.
Listen, for the fourth time tonight, I have to apologize to our favorite good witch. Did I introduce you, Switchy?
Yes.
Okay. Our favorite good witch.
He introduced himself
in Sideways, New York. Our good friend, our favorite white witch, good witch, Raven. How are you tonight?
Hello. I'm doing really good.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us. Just tell us. You're look at the crowd you're with tonight.
But I'm with friends, first of all. First of all, I'm with friends, okay?
Go ahead.
Second of all, I have an 8 days a week because I finished my raspberry jammin'. So I've moved on.
Okay.
She's thoroughly medicated.
Uh-huh.
She's medicated. You feel no pain. I'm in the same
I
situation.
feel nothing right now.
All right. Excellent.
And you know what happens? If the people could only see her. She's a doll. I mean,
so anyway, look at this is Switchy's time to shine here. In fact, here's his tease right here.
And now it's time for another story from the lost annals of the paranormal. It's time for Steve Ward's Report from the Fringe.
And Switchy, you have a story, a bio from the Fringe, right?
Yes, we have talked about Charles Fort before, but I think I've got some areas of his life that we haven't really talked about. My information comes from two books. One is by Colin Bennett, Politics of the Imagination, The Life, Work, and Ideas of Charles Fort, and also by Damon Knight. Damon Knight was a science fiction author, and he wrote To Serve Man, that became a famous Twilight Zone episode.
Great episode.
He wrote Charles Fort, Prophet of the Unexplained. And let me just give you a couple of quotes. Now, of course, most people know that Charles Fort wrote 4 books, beginning with The Book of the Damned.
Yes.
Lo, New Lands, Wild Talents. And
when was he
what
born?
He did was he became fascinated by these little tidbits from science journals and newspapers, these completely unexplained events like falls of fish and so forth. We'll get into some of that. But there's some great quotes if you go through his writings. He was, the thing is, he had a sense of humor. He was like poking the establishment.
Good.
Because they actually didn't really pay attention to some of the stuff that he found.
Switchy.
Yes.
When was he? What year was he born?
It was 1874.
Okay.
In New York.
New York.
Albany, New York.
Oh, Albany. I'm surprised he didn't die of boredom. I used to live up there.
Well, I don't think he stayed there. He went.
And then he died in the 30s?
Globetrotting and so forth.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me just give you a couple quotes.
Okay.
Every science is a mutilated octopus. If its tentacles were not clipped to stumps, it would feel its way into disturbing contacts.
Okay, wait. Say that again, please. Do that again, please.
Every science is a mutilated octopus. If its tentacles were not clipped to stumps, it would feel its way into disturbing contacts. And of course, he felt that the establishment, there was a certain orthodoxy,
yes,
and science would not look into areas that they should, because there's so much unknown and so much left to understand.
Right.
Also,
he was right about that.
I got one other one.
Go ahead.
And then maybe a couple more later. Ships from other worlds that have been seen by millions of the inhabitants of this earth exploring night after night in the sky of France, England, New England, and Canada. So he was the one, he chronicled these strange moving lights in the sky.
Right, yeah.
And, he was the first one to really talk about UFOs to any length without actually used his own term.
Right.
But again, he was born 1874, August 6th in Albany, New York. He died May 1932 in Brooklyn. And the New York Times obituary called him a foe of science.
I knew this guy.
Very nice, huh?
Top of the food chain. Yeah, huh?
Now go ahead.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, was he famous when he was alive?
Yes, he eventually, but he was in the early 1900s. He was living in the poorest district in New York, a rundown tenement room with cardboard boxes full of notes. I'm gonna jump around a little bit, but this is he started as early at becoming fascinated by these things he was finding in the New York Library and other places as early as 1906, and. Like I said, scientific journals. The thing is, if you looked at these scientific journals, every once in a while they'd have something that would be so totally bizarre and just off the charts weird.
Right.
But he's the one that pulled all these together. And he talked a lot about things that fall from the skies. And actually, Ivan Sanderson created a term for that.
Yes.
See if I can pronounce it. Fafrot skies. Fafrot skies.
Okay.
FAFROT SKIES, which is a contraction of fall from the skies.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
That's clever.
Now, when he started collecting this, he had ideas for his books were going to be called X and Y. Now, eventually, he would actually destroy a lot of his notes and some of his writings that he wasn't happy with.
Oh, really?
So unfortunately, we don't have these that survive. But X apparently had a lot of the very weird things he was finding, like falls from the sky, strange lights in the sky.
Right.
But he was kind of blaming it on Mars. I'm not sure that it was meant to be literal, but he was blaming all these oddities on the Martians.
Wow, he was nuts then. Cool.
Well, again, I think this was a bit tongue-in-cheek.
Okay.
Because why, the other book was, he hypothesized a malign civilization at the South Pole that was responsible for a lot of this stuff.
He stopped.
So I think if you read his writings, he's very, very tongue-in-cheek, very flippant.
Yes.
And while he's very serious about his research, he loves to poke fun at the establishment and I think himself as well.
He's a wise ass.
Yes, a wise ass.
His name is Charles Fort, right? Charles
Fort. Now, there's a very important figure that he meets in 1905.
Go.
Theodore Dreiser.
Huh.
Now, I guess he's a famous novelist that wrote things like An American Tragedy. How many here have read An American Tragedy?
Show of hands.
Okay.
I heard of it.
I see fingers, not hands. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. So, yeah, that's the way I feel. But anyway, he was a very, very important author at the time, and this meeting would help him later on.
Go ahead.
But let's just before we get into this, because there was actually his first book was well received, but a lot of people just didn't like it. Let's talk about Immanuel Velikovsky, Worlds in Collision.
Okay.
He wrote that book in 1950, and he was just viciously attacked by the establishment. Harlow Shapley was from the Harvard College Observatory.
Oh.
He threatened the publishing company with that they would he and his other professors and scientists would boycott their textbook division.
Wow.
So in 1950, Macmillan had to give it up to Doubleday. Doubleday did not have a textbook department.
Wow.
But the thing is, I remember that there was a book printed called Velikovsky Reconsidered, where they looked at some of his ideas and they think that maybe he was on the mark. Other things he was off the mark. But the thing is that he didn't get a chance to present his ideas right or wrong. How many times has this happened? Wilhelm Reich may have been a nut job. I don't know. He talked about inventing orgone energy and weather manipulation and so forth.
Yeah.
But he died in prison because they just didn't like his ideas.
Oh.
So it's just it's really interesting to look at Velikovsky and what they did to him.
He's persecuted. They're persecuted. They it opened themselves up for persecution.
Yes, and he was attacked, and it's so often when people attack somebody in this position,
yes,
they make up stuff. They don't actually represent what they were saying, and so they're disagreeing with or attacking him for something that he didn't support in the first place.
Okay.
One of those people to Velikovsky was Menzel, Donald Menzel. Remember him?
Yes.
The arch enemy of UFO people.
Yes.
He was he probably Philip Klass was probably the reincarnation of Donald Menzel.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what happens is this Theodore Dreiser tries to sell these books X and Y, but it's not working. So Fort trashes him.
Wonder why.
And then he starts over again. And this is where we get his first book, The Book of the Damned. And it's full of things like all kinds of things that have fallen from the sky.
Yeah, fish and
worms, stones, ashes, charcoal, grain, amber, India rubber, oils, grease, woolly substances. I don't want to know. And again, fish, crabs, eels, shellfish. And sometimes they would be very selective. You'd get the same kind of fish. But one time these crabs fell and they couldn't identify them, didn't know what the heck they were. But it was just crabs. It wasn't like somebody scooped something out of the ocean and then just dropped it. It's very selective. That's
interesting. Yeah, that's interesting because they just had a fish fall down in Texas last week, but they it isn't like 6 or 7 different kinds of fish. That, as you say, something scooped out in the ocean. It's all one kind of fish. Why does just one kind of fish get sucked up into the whirlpool, into the sea tornado? It doesn't make sense. Go ahead, Switchy.
His wife talked about how he would. They were living in poverty for a while. He had an uncle that died and left some money, so he was able to write and to kind of get by. He wasn't a wealthy man. His wife used to talk about how he would come back from the library with stacks of tales of sea monsters and mysterious fires and poltergeists.
Yeah.
So this is something he did all the time. He actually collected was something like 40,000 separate incidents were covered in his boxes that eventually some of them went into the Book of the Damned. Now it actually, if I want to go back a little bit, at 18, he was doing a man's work. He smoked, he drank, he gambled.
Cool.
Damon Knight suggested he may have even consorted with fallen women.
Wow.
Club, did you need me to explain that at all?
Club.
Well, it was over my head until you started with that. Now I'm getting into it.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. Please
Me neither.
Explain
Please explain it.
Okay, we'll move along. We'll take it out and edit. But he was kind of a wild kid, didn't want to be told what to do.
Yes.
He got home late one night, and the door had glass on it. So he broke the glass out to get inside.
Really?
So he got punished he had to sleep downstairs with the servants. I don't know how wealthy his family was if they had servants, but they wouldn't let him have breakfast with the family.
Wow.
And then one time somebody was
punished.
serving cake. So he goes to lunge for the cake, and there was a big fight. And anyway, eventually he left home. He went traveling and so forth. He contracted some kind of illness in South Africa and came back.
Wow.
Get that here, too.
We're not talking about consorting with women right now, Club.
I'm sorry.
Okay. And the woman that brought him back to health,
yes,
he married.
Interesting. He married his nurse.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, the thing is that Dresser went to his publisher and he told him, he said, you're going to have to, I want you to publish this book because he's good friends with Fort. And the publisher looks at it, he reads it and says, I can't publish this. I'm going to lose money. He says, well, if you don't publish it, you've lost me. So he had that kind of clout.
Wow.
So they published it. And actually, it was pretty well received. The critics liked it,
yes,
and so forth. But Fort, again, had this, this complex where when he couldn't have success or whatever.
Yes,
he thought that sales were kind of slow, but he thought that he was a failure. So he and his wife went to London.
Oh, good.
And
good plan.
For 8 years, they stayed there. But he haunted the British Museum. He started, and the work that he was doing there, the material that he was collecting, eventually went into his later 3 books, which were published later on.
Yes.
So he did receive a certain amount of notoriety.
He must have had some kind of money. Switchy. He's living in London for 8 years. That's not cheap.
Well, he was on this allowance from his uncle,
rich
for $25 a week. Now, in 1900, $25 to today's dollars, according to the internet, is $829.77.
A week?
I'll take it, man.
Yeah,
a week?
A week.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was a month. Did I say
a month.
Okay.
I'd still take it a month.
Okay, a month.
You got to break it down to pounds, too, then.
Yeah. Go ahead, Switch.
Okay. But anyway, it's very, the things that he like you say, he started this obsession about 1906 and never stopped. And another example he gives in his books is not too many years earlier, it was believed that that meteors, that these rocks did not fall from the sky because they can't. Where would they come from, right?
Right.
So even when they saw this thing streak through the sky and hit the ground, and they went up and examined it, it was all hot and molten or whatever.
Yes.
They said, well, it didn't fall from the sky. A lightning bolt struck the rock and heated it up.
Really?
So it took the scientific establishment came kicking and screaming to finally admit that there's such a thing as a meteor and then a meteorite when it hits the ground.
Yeah. 2 minutes.
One interesting thing was there was a time when he used to love to give names to these things with all this stuff that was falling out of the sky.
Yes.
He talked about a super Sargasso Sea where these things are somehow collecting and then every once in a while fall. Supposedly, even coffins have fallen out of the sky.
Coffins?
I don't know about that. But anyway, there was a tremendous fall of matter in Europe in February 1903, covered a huge area, even out into the Atlantic.
Matter.
And people that examined this, it was kind of a sandy-like material. It was different colors depending on where it landed. Supposedly, some of the scientists said that it was partially organic, which sounds really creepy.
No.
But he wrote about this. We passed in 1903 through the remains of a powdered world left over from an ancient interplanetary dispute. Which is a pretty colorful way of trying to explain it.
Yeah. We got 1 minute. So can you still buy this guy's books?
Well, let me give you in the last minute. Let me give you something that's really kind of interesting. Damon Knight took that 40,000. He went through his books.
Yes.
You know how Fort goes all over the place. It's not well organized. It's very conversational.
Okay.
So he went through. He kind of cataloged all these incidents, put them on cards, and then he found out that he put it in different categories: things in the sky, things in space, and things on the earth, like poltergeist or whatever. They all peak at the same time.
Yes. Tell us about that. When is the time?
Well, it's just that he put the chart out, and it was, I think, 1890 was one when it really spiked. But every once in a while, he didn't do the whole, all the years up to the present.
Okay.
But there was a period of years where all these things that we would think are all separate are all increasing and peaking at a particular time.
And imagine that.
He's got
about that.
several charts like that, which is very interesting when you put the all that together.
Right. It's like UFO, ghosts, UFOs, monsters, cryptids, weird things happening, all peaking at the same time, almost as if they're on a timetable.
I mean, he even wrote some things that Giorgio Tsoukalos of Ancient Aliens would love, because he kind of actually predicted the ancient alien ideas decades before anybody else did.
Von Däniken. Wow, Switchy. Let's clap for Switchy as opposed to saluting him, because saluting him might call attention to his
We
hair.
can do both,
Okay, all right.
I can clap and salute at the same time.
Right hand.
We get numbers of emails about Switchy's hair, as it turns out. So we got a few minutes left. Thank you, Switchy.
My pleasure.
Tales from the Fringe. Okay, thank you, Jocko.
I asked Switch, what's this guy's education? Is he like a...
He dropped out. He was just a self-taught man.
He's a dropout.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
From Brooklyn.
You'd be surprised how many self-taught engineers, architects, scientists, they really discovered some amazing and built amazing things.
Listen.
Switch, it's a Forte or just the T?
Well, I'm a self-taught Fringe reporter.
See?
Exactly.
Forte.
But this fella's name, Charles Fort, is it with an E?
Yes, Charles Fort. Fortean or Fortean researchers.
Fortiana. Hey, listen, let me just thank you, Switch, and thank you, Raven, for your report, and thank you, Jocko, for your weather/war report.
You're welcome, sir.
We got a few minutes left. I just want to thank everyone for writing to us lately, for asking for the bag of swag. I should remind everybody that if you go to MackMaloney.com and hit the contact button and give us your mailing address, we will send you a bag of swag. That's 2 family pins, some decals, some buttons that you can put on like your knapsack and stuff like that. And the all-time favorite, the Mack Maloney Military X-Files bar coasters. Now, as it turns out, bar coasters are the most expensive thing of that whole little kind of bag of swag. To get because they're good. They're not cheap. They would probably absorb, up to a dozen beers maybe before they have to throw them away. So
I think Coco did some self-analysis.
He did his right. Exactly, yeah. And spread them all over New Hampshire. So anyway, just go to MackMaloney.com, hit the contact button, send us your mailing address, and we will send out a bag of swag to you. Toot sweet, as the kids say. Also, we should say that we announced last week that the show is going to be heard on KGRA starting, I think, in 2 weeks at the end of January. We're looking forward to that. Aren't we? Switch. I'm going to throw it to you.
We are absolutely looking forward to it.
Very vocal audience, very involved audience. I'm expecting a different kind of email, as it turns out, if the past is any, judge of it.
We can handle it.
Okay, I'll send them, first to Club, and then he can transfer them to you, okay?
No problem, Mac. I'll handle it. You leave it to me. I'll take care of it.
When I was on...
I gotta work with them first.
Yes, let him,
Club, you give me the word, I'll do what has to be done.
Let him dunk them first.
You're a good man. Thanks, Jocko.
Thank you, sir.
When I was on KGRA with Ray Hobbs, all 650 pounds of him after his diet. At one point,
oh, come on!
I'm not kidding you.
Oh man!
At one point, he was going to wanted to bankroll 2 witches from Australia to come over and visit us in the United States. Okay.
Oh baby!
Yeah, they were going to stay in the extra spare bedroom in his mother's basement. All right.
Were they going to turn lead to gold or something for him?
I was going to say they'll probably never get out of there. alive. But he actually, he had done some kind of, fundraising plan to bring 2 Australian witches over, not to have them fly back, just to have them fly over.
Why don't they just take their brooms?
It doesn't work like that. We're not in Hogwarts.
There you go.
You're a good witch. I don't know what the bad ones, what they do. When I saw the Wizard of Oz, she had a probe, the old lady.
Here we go. So thank you. And to everyone for the report tonight. Next week, I'm hoping that Coco and Cece will be back. And we'll be put back together again, like, if not the gingerbread man, the egg that fell off the wall, right? Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty, yeah.
Our appendages are missing. They're going to love to hear this show, both of them.
They're the best.
Okay.
I think so. They missed a good time.
Yes.
I think we really delivered tonight.
Okay, Raven. Okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
Good.
Maybe if we're not like Humpty Dumpty, we're like that anatomically incorrect man from Operation. I think that's a good way of describing us as a group.
Is that the game Operation?
He's got all his parts. You just got to put them in right.
So, Raven, to complete the analogy, how do we, how if you do it wrong, it buzzes?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Does it, if we do something wrong, does it buzz then?
Come back to me.
Yes.
Okay.
I've been hearing that buzz all my life. I'm going to say yeah. Anyway,
for that.
Okay, listen. It's time to wrap it up there, kids. So we should say Homes for Our Troops. Homes for Our Troops is a military funding organization that builds homes for veterans, post 9/11 veterans of the wars in Afghanistan and also Iraq. They build them the homes that it's easier for them to get around in. These are veterans who may have lost limbs over those years, and like low counter space, stairs easier to get up, things like that, more access and so on. And then they just give them the keys. They tear up the mortgage. They give them the house, and the statistics say that about 85% of these people, once they just basically have a house, they can start their families and stuff like that. They're successful in finding jobs and stuff like that. All you have to do is just give them this, one thing. They deserve it. Our government should be the ones doing it, but as it turns out, they don't. So Homes for Our Troops is the place to just Google them and see all the good work they do. I think they've built 350 houses already, which to me is insane because these houses go for about $500,000, $600,000 each.
Amazing. Great organization.
Yeah, see, there's someone doing something, at least. You hear so many problems these days, and everyone's saying, well, the solution is this, and it never works. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents. By the way, I just saw Switchy kind of adjust his hairpiece. Did anyone see that? 2 hours, 31 seconds.
I saw something there, but
I 10 out of 10 did not see that.
Okay. All right.
He's touching himself all night.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
I don't know what he's talking about.
On that note,
you are fresh.
I think the Velcro or snap must have popped. It was just straight.
Well, when I perspire, when I get excited doing the fringe report, it's the moisture loosens the double-sided duct tape on one side.
And it's worth it because it was an absolutely excellent report, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go.
I think that even if you have a hair piece, which I don't think you do, I think you look fantastic.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. A hair system.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Take
hair
that,
system.
Willie Club.
Yeah, just because you get a compliment, Raven, you be honest now.
No.
I get a kickback every time I see
Really?
Willie, if
beauty
Switchy
products
recommend you could probably get a deal in your system too.
Whoa, okay.
Oh,
wow.
If you want one, I'm just saying, just throwing it out there.
Wow.
I got all mine, see?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea there, Club. You and I will get the same system.
I'm all natural myself.
We'll have a race. Okay.
What you see is what you get.
Hey, what'll be interesting is it's one of two things with Club real quick, because we're always talking about what a dignified guy he looks like. Number one, if he grew his hair a little bit longer, kind of had that kind of, he could play like the Southern lawyer, like in on TV shows. You know what I mean? Just that little kind of y'all type thing. You could do that. You could pull that off.
Give him that and like the bolo tie.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pull off the
accent. Yeah.
Let's put him into Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, there you go. Second, number two.
Atticus Finch.
Finch.
Great movie.
We'll dub his words. Don't worry about it. We get someone to do it. We'll dub it.
He also looks like John Lithgow from the Third Rock from the Sun. But hey, listen, how about if you shaved your head? Talk about Lex Luthor. shave your head, baby, you'd look just like Lex Luthor.
He's got a Kirk Douglas look going even too.
Kirk Douglas, okay. Okay, well, that killed the last 2 minutes of the show. Thank you, Club, for letting us point out.
Thank you, Mac. Great to be here.
Show. Thank you, Jocko, for joining us. Really, really appreciate it.
Spectacular time, Mac.
See you soon, okay? Go throw that New York Giants gear away. Burn it, all right?
Never.
Take it from me.
That's what being a fan's about. Never give up.
Switchy, thank you very much for enlightening and entertaining us. Okay.
My pleasure. Great to be here.
He's getting a little Greg Allman looking. No, Dwayne Allman looking a little bit now as the beard is growing a little bit longer. He has that kind of Dwayne Allman look, no?
Whoever he is, he's the best.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
He's going for something.
Every morning I eat breakfast, I think about him.
Whoa. Right, wow.
I'm like, what is Switchy eating?
Probably not these Cheerios. Okay, and saving the best till last, Raven, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and for adding the strawberries and balloons. Thank you. And tonight, just real quick, you had, let's one last plug. The raspberry beer was?
Yes, Beer Tree.
Beer Tree.
Beer with roots.
With
it
roots.
was the raspberry jammin'.
Excellent. Okay. And then you topped that off with?
And I topped that off with Southern Tier Brewing Company, 8 days a week.
8 days a week. We're figuring out why the Beatles Apple doesn't sue these people. But anyway, that's also supposed to be really good.
You want me to plug the limoncello?
Go ahead. Go right ahead then.
I can't even pronounce the name of what I'm drinking right now.
Go ahead.
But the one that, it's in Italian, the one that is the best, won awards all over the place. Stock, Stock, imported directly from Sicily.
Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Wow.
So it's the Sicilian lemons, baby. It's what makes it good.
If I went down the north end of Boston, I could probably get a bottle or two of that. I'm just kind of guessing.
I've ate there a few times now. Restaurants, they were just as good as grandma.
Excellent food down there. So anyway, listen, thank you, everyone. Thank you, gang, for joining us tonight. Thanks for everyone for writing in and sending us requests for bags of swag, and for also providing us with a lot of emails. Someone sent Raven a present the other day. I'm not going to tell her what it is, but I'm going to mail it to her soon. But it's another indication that people are very involved in your life there, Raven. I mean, every little kind of, minute thing in your life, people seem to want to grab onto. You'll see when you get the present. You'll know what I mean.
I'm so excited.
I don't have to see it first, Mac.
No.
Past inspection.
No. Yes, you'll. Yeah.
God, it's got to go by club. I don't know.
I don't think so. Now that I think of it, maybe who knows? Okay.
Usually, I have to put it in the synthesizer.
Yeah. Let's see.
But
puts it in a bat spectrometer.
If it's a severed head, I'm going to be really disappointed.
No, nothing like that.
Send it my way.
From a real film.
Yeah,
I'll send it to Switch.
Now they're fighting over it. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. No, it's very nice. And then I also want to thank that prisoner down in Texas who sent me a fan letter, only because when he grew up in Texas, before he did whatever he did to get him to go to the penitentiary,
they were all innocent.
He lived 2 doors down from a guy named Maloney. And he was wondering if we were related. Yes, right. So that's in the first paragraph. I've yet to read the other 9 pages in cursive.
Mac,
really beautiful.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you, but we used to ask all of these guys first when we locked them up.
Yes.
What did they say you did?
What do they say you did?
See, because we know they're all innocent.
Yeah, they're all innocent. What do they say you did? That's cool. So anyway, on that note, thank you, everybody, for listening. And until next week, hopefully JJ and RCC will be back. This is Mac from the entire gang saying be safe, be happy, and...
Bye-bye.